In the vast emptiness of space where stars twinkled like tiny lanterns and galaxies swirled in cosmic dances, something extraordinary was about to happen. Humanity, a species once considered primitive by other civilizations, had always been the butt of jokes among advanced alien races. Earth's people were seen as dreamers, hopeful but clumsy, trying to reach for the stars with tools made of scrap metal and hope. But on this day, everything changed. It started quietly enough. On Earth, life went on as usual. In cities around the globe, people hurried to work. Children played in parks and coffee shops buzzed with conversations about sports, politics, and social media trends. No one noticed the first signs of something unusual happening high above, the atmosphere. At first, it was just a faint shimmer, a distortion in the sky that looked almost like heat waves rising from hot asphalt. Scientists monitoring weather patterns dismissed it as an odd atmospheric anomaly. After all, strange things happened in nature all the time. But then, more reports came in. Satellites orbiting Earth detected strange readings, energy spikes unlike anything ever recorded. Astronomers peered through telescopes and saw what appeared to be a crack forming in the fabric of the sky itself. It wasn't just a cloud or a trick of light. It was real, growing larger with each passing hour. The rift seemed to stretch endlessly into infinity, revealing glimpses of darkness dotted with glowing specks of light. Some thought it might be a portal to another dimension, while others feared it could be the beginning of some catastrophic event. News of the phenomenon spread quickly, sparking panic among governments and civilians alike. Emergency meetings were held in secret bunkers and military forces prepared for the worst. Social media exploded with theories ranging from government experiments gone wrong to alien invasions. People crowded onto rooftops and open fields, staring up at the sky with a mix of awe and terror. "What is that thing?" whispered a young boy clutching his mother's hand as they watched the rift widen. His mother didn't answer. She was too busy snapping photos with her phone, hoping to capture proof of whatever this was. Meanwhile, far away from Earth, alien observers sat in their sleek spaceships and glowing council chambers, watching the unfolding spectacle with amusement. The Zorlaxians, a highly advanced race known for their smug superiority, couldn't resist mocking humanity. "Oh, look," sneered Ambassador Varnock, his tentacles twitching with laughter. "The primitives are attempting to rip apart the fabric of space-time. How adorable." Other alien species joined in, chuckling at what they assumed was yet another failed attempt by humans to play gods. The Krill Empire, renowned for their brutal efficiency, sent out reconnaissance drones to monitor the situation. Their leader, Emperor Xylar, leaned back in his throne-like chair, stroking his chin thoughtfully. "Perhaps we should intervene before these fools destroy themselves, and possibly us along with them," he mused aloud. His advisors nodded nervously, unsure if the growing rift posed any real danger to their own worlds. Back on Earth, not everyone succumbed to fear. Amidst the chaos, a small group of scientists and engineers refused to believe this was the end. They gathered in makeshift labs, poring over data and brainstorming ideas. One of these individuals was Dr. Elena Carter, a brilliant astrophysicist whose groundbreaking work on harnessing energy from black holes had earned her both fame and ridicule. She stood before her team now, pointing at a holographic map of the rift projected onto a wall. Her voice was calm but firm. "This isn't destruction," she said, meeting each of their eyes. "It's revelation." Her words sparked a glimmer of hope in the room. If anyone could make sense of this, it was Dr. Carter. She had spent years studying anomalies in space, chasing mysteries that others deemed impossible. Now, faced with the biggest mystery of all, she felt a surge of excitement mixed with responsibility. Whatever this rift was, it wasn't random. Something or someone had created it. And she intended to find out why. As the days passed, the rift continued to grow, revealing more of its secrets. Glowing structures began to emerge from within, massive and imposing. They weren't natural formations. They were ships, star destroyers, bristling with weapons and humming with power. Each vessel dwarfed entire cities, casting long shadows over continents as they hovered silently in place. Humanity collectively held its breath, unsure whether these machines brought salvation or doom. Alien races, however, were no longer laughing. Fear gripped their hearts as they realized the scale of what they were witnessing. "What have we done?" muttered a Krill advisor, his voice trembling. "We've awakened something we don't understand." Even the Zorlaxians fell silent, their earlier mockery replaced by unease. For the first time in centuries, they found themselves questioning their assumptions about humanity. Dr. Carter and her team worked tirelessly, analyzing every detail of the Star Destroyer's design. They discovered patterns in their movements, mathematical sequences embedded in their signals, and traces of energy signatures similar to those found near black holes. It was as if the ships were communicating, not with words but with numbers and frequencies. "They're testing us," Dr. Carter concluded after hours of analysis, "seeing if we're smart enough to figure this out." Her theory sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Governments debated how to respond, torn between aggression and diplomacy. Military leaders argued for preemptive strikes, fearing the ships might attack without warning. Others urged caution, suggesting that humanity should try to communicate peacefully. In the end, a compromise was reached. Dr. Carter would lead a team to send a message using experimental quantum communication devices. It was a risky move, but it was also their best chance at understanding the visitors. As the team prepared their transmission, ordinary citizens around the world rallied together. Volunteers organized food drives for displaced families. Artists painted murals depicting unity and hope, and musicians composed songs to lift spirits. Despite the looming threat, humanity proved resilient, finding strength in solidarity. "If we're going down," joked a street vendor handing out free sandwiches, "at least we'll do it with full stomachs." Finally, the moment arrived. Dr. Carter's team broadcasted their message, a series of mathematical equations combined with symbols representing peace and cooperation. They waited anxiously for a response, unsure if the Star Destroyers would even acknowledge them. Hours turned into days, and just when hope began to wane, a reply came. A single word, transmitted in flawless English, echoed across screens worldwide. "Await." The aliens' reaction was immediate. Councils convened. In emergency sessions, leaders shouted accusations at one another, and fleets mobilized in preparation for war. Fear spread like wildfire, fueled by uncertainty. What did await mean? Was humanity being given a second chance or a death sentence? For the first time in history, humanity stood united, ready to face whatever came next. And though the galaxy trembled at the sight of Earth's newfound resolve, one truth became clear. Everyone laughed and doubted, except for humans. The word await hung in the air like an unspoken promise, its simplicity carrying more weight than any declaration of war or peace. Humanity held its collective breath, unsure whether this single response was a blessing or a curse. Governments scrambled to interpret its meaning, while scientists debated the implications of such precise communication. Meanwhile, alien civilizations across the galaxy braced themselves for what might come next. Dr. Elena Carter stood at the center of it all, her mind racing with possibilities. She had spent sleepless nights analyzing every aspect of the Star Destroyer's behavior, searching for clues that might explain their intentions. Her team worked tirelessly alongside her, running simulations and cross-referencing data from countless sources. Yet despite their efforts, one question remained unanswered. Why had the ships chosen Earth? What made humanity worthy of this cosmic intervention? As days turned into weeks, the Star Destroyers remained eerily still, hovering silently above continents as if frozen in time. Some people began to call them guardians, believing they were sent to protect Earth from some unknown threat. Others saw them as harbingers of doom, convinced that their silence was merely a prelude to destruction. Conspiracy theories flourished, online with bloggers claiming everything from divine intervention to secret government experiments gone awry. Amidst the uncertainty, ordinary life on Earth continued, or tried to. Schools reopened, Businesses resumed operations and families gathered around dinner tables, trying to maintain a sense of normalcy. But no one could ignore the looming presence of the ships overhead. At night, cities lit up not just with streetlights, but also with glowing reflections of the massive vessels casting shadows over rooftops. Children whispered stories about the sky giants during bedtime, while adults exchanged nervous glances whenever the topic came up in conversation. Alien observers, however, were far less composed. Across the galaxy, panic rippled through. Interstellar councils as leaders struggled to comprehend the unfolding events. The Zorlaxians, once so quick to mock humanity, now found themselves gripped by fear. Their ambassador, Varnock, paced anxiously in his chambers, his tentacles twitching with agitation. "This is impossible," he muttered to himself. "How can primitives decipher quantum signals? How can they even think beyond survival?" His frustrations echoed throughout the Krill Empire, where Emperor Xylar convened an emergency meeting with his top advisors. Holographic projections of the Star Destroyers loomed over the table, their sheer size dwarfing the assembled council members. "We must act," declared General Tarkon, slamming his fist against the surface. "If these ships are indeed gifts meant to elevate humanity, we cannot allow them to gain such power. They'll surpass us within months, weeks even." Xylar leaned forward, his sharp eyes scanning the room. "And what would you suggest?" he asked coldly. "Attacking them outright? Risking retaliation from forces we do not understand? Or perhaps we should invade Earth ourselves, strip them of their newfound technology before it's too late?" The chamber fell silent. No one dared propose a solution, knowing full well the risks involved. For centuries, the Krill Empire had prided itself on its dominance, conquering weaker species and hoarding resources. But now, faced with an unpredictable variable like humanity, their confidence wavered. Were they truly prepared to challenge beings who had already proven capable of attracting attention from entities far beyond their comprehension? Back on Earth, Dr. Carter and her team focused on deciphering the message further. They hypothesized that await wasn't merely a command but an invitation, a test of patience and readiness. Using advanced algorithms, they began sending follow-up transmissions, incorporating elements of art, music, and cultural achievements unique to humanity. It was a gamble, but they hoped to demonstrate not just intelligence but creativity, showing the Star Destroyers that humans were more than mere survivors. They were dreamers, builders, and innovators. Their efforts paid off when another response arrived, a series of pulsating lights emanating from one of the ships. At first glance, it appeared random, but closer inspection revealed patterns resembling constellations mapped across the night sky. Dr. Carter's eyes widened as realization dawned. "They're teaching us," she exclaimed, turning to her team. "These aren't just coordinates, they're instructions." The instructions guided them toward specific locations on Earth: remote deserts, dense jungles, and frozen tundras. Each site contained strange artifacts buried deep beneath the surface, remnants of ancient technology left behind eons ago. Archaeologists joined forces with engineers to excavate and study these relics, uncovering secrets that defied conventional science. Energy cores capable of powering entire cities, materials stronger than diamond yet lighter than air, and devices that seemed to manipulate time itself. All of it pointed to one undeniable conclusion: humanity was being given tools to reshape its destiny. News of these discoveries spread rapidly, sparking both wonder and controversy. Religious groups hailed the artifacts as divine blessings, proof of a higher power guiding humanity toward enlightenment. Skeptics dismissed them as elaborate hoaxes, accusing governments of orchestrating the entire event to distract from global crises. Meanwhile, conspiracy theorists claimed the Star Destroyers were preparing Earth for colonization, using humans as unwitting pawns in a larger galactic scheme. Despite the mixed reactions, progress accelerated at an unprecedented pace. Engineers reverse-engineered the artifacts, integrating their technology into existing systems. Power grids surged with limitless energy, eliminating reliance on fossil fuels and ushering in an era of sustainability. Medical breakthroughs cured diseases once thought incurable, extending lifespans and improving quality of life. Cities transformed overnight, skyscrapers replaced by floating structures powered by anti-gravity engines, and oceans teemed with restored marine ecosystems thanks to advanced purification techniques. Alien races watched in stunned disbelief as Earth underwent a metamorphosis unlike anything seen before. The Zorlaxians, whose arrogance had blinded them to humanity's potential, now felt a pang of envy. How can they adapt so quickly? Ambassador Varnock demanded during a heated council session. It took us millennia to achieve what they've done in mere months. Other species shared his sentiments, their initial mockery giving way to grudging respect and growing unease. If humanity continued on this trajectory, they would soon rival even the most advanced civilizations. Some argued for diplomacy, suggesting alliances might be beneficial in the long run. Others advocated for isolation, urging their governments to sever ties with Earth entirely. A few extremists called for preemptive strikes, fearing extinction if humanity's rise went unchecked. Yet amidst the chaos, there were moments of hope. Diplomatic envoys from neutral factions ventured to Earth, seeking to establish peaceful relations. They marveled at the planet's transformation, noting how humanity had managed to unite under a common purpose. "You have achieved something remarkable," said Ambassador Lorana of the Quarren Alliance, addressing a crowd of world leaders during a historic summit. "In a universe often divided by greed and fear, you have shown that cooperation is possible." Her words resonated deeply, inspiring further collaboration between nations. Borders blurred as resources were shared freely, and conflicts that had plagued humanity for generations began to fade. Art, literature, and music thrived, reflecting a renewed sense of optimism. Even those who had initially doubted humanity's ability to handle such power found themselves inspired by the resilience and ingenuity displayed by Earth's people. Dr. Carter became a symbol of this new era, her face appearing on billboards and news broadcasts worldwide. She traveled extensively, giving lectures and advocating for responsible use of the newfound technology. "With great power comes great responsibility," she reminded audiences repeatedly. "We cannot repeat the mistakes of our past. We must build a future that benefits everyone, not just a privileged few." Her message struck a chord, resonating not only with humans, but also with certain alien species willing to listen. Slowly, but surely, bridges began to form between Earth and other worlds. Trade agreements were signed, scientific exchanges initiated, and cultural festivals organized to celebrate diversity. Humanity stepped onto the galactic stage, not as conquerors, but as equals eager to learn and share. Farther away, however, tensions simmered. The Krill Empire, unwilling to relinquish its dominance, plotted covert operations aimed at sabotaging Earth's advancements. Spies infiltrated research facilities, attempting to steal classified information, while assassins targeted key figures, like Dr. Carter. Yet every attempt failed, thwarted by humanity's heightened security measures and unwavering determination. One evening, as Dr. Carter gazed up at the star destroyers from her balcony, she reflected on how far they had come. Beside her stood Maya, her young protege whose curiosity knew no bounds. "Do you think we'll ever meet the ones who gave us this gift?" Maya asked, her voice filled with wonder. Dr. Carter smiled softly, placing a hand on the girl's shoulder. "Maybe someday," she replied. "But until then, we'll keep exploring, keep learning, and keep proving that even the smallest spark can ignite the brightest flame." And so, humanity marched forward, carrying the torch of innovation into the vast unknown. As the weeks turned into months, humanity's transformation continued at a breathtaking pace. The star destroyers remained in orbit, their silent presence casting long shadows over Earth's cities and countryside. For many, they had become symbols of hope, monuments to humanity's potential and proof that even the smallest spark could ignite the brightest flame. But for others, particularly alien civilizations observing from afar, they were harbingers of change, signaling the rise of a species no one had anticipated. The artifacts unearthed beneath the Earth's surface had unlocked secrets beyond imagination. Energy cores capable of powering entire continents, materials stronger than steel yet lighter than air, and devices that manipulated time itself. All of these innovations were integrated into human society with astonishing speed. Cities floated among clouds, connected by anti-gravity highways. Oceans teemed with restored marine life, thanks to advanced purification systems. Diseases once thought incurable vanished overnight as medical breakthroughs revolutionized healthcare. Humanity was stepping into a golden age, leaving behind centuries of struggle and division. Yet not everyone celebrated this progress. Alien leaders who had initially dismissed Earth as insignificant now watched with growing unease. The Krill Empire, known for its ruthless expansion and dominance, convened secret councils to discuss the threat posed by humanity's rapid advancement. Emperor Xylar paced his throne room, his sharp eyes scanning holographic projections of Earth's new cities and technology. "They're evolving too quickly," he growled, slamming a fist against the armrest. "If we don't act soon, they'll surpass us, and then what? Will they come for our worlds next?" His advisors exchanged nervous glances. General Tarkin stepped forward, his voice steady but cautious. "We cannot risk open conflict," he said. "Their technology is already on par with ours and those Star Destroyers. We still don't know their full capabilities. Attacking now would be suicide." Xylar's jaw tightened. He hated being told what he couldn't do. "Then what do you suggest?" he snapped. "We sit back and watch as they grow stronger? As they build armies and fleets to rival ours?" Tarkin hesitated before replying. "Perhaps there's another way," he ventured carefully. "Instead of war, we could offer alliances, or sabotage their efforts covertly. Spies, misinformation, targeted strikes on key facilities. Anything to slow them down without provoking retaliation." The Emperor considered this for a moment, then nodded curtly. "Do it," he ordered. "But if your plans fail, I'll hold you personally responsible." Meanwhile, the Zorlaxians, whose earlier mockery had faded into fear, took a different approach. Ambassador Varnock called an emergency session of the Galactic Council, demanding immediate action against Earth. "This is madness," he exclaimed, his tentacles writhing with agitation. "In a matter of months, they've gone from primitive apes to galactic contenders. What happens when they turn their attention outward? Will they invade our territories, enslave our people?" Other council members murmured in agreement, though none dared propose a solution. The Quarren Alliance, a peaceful faction known for its diplomatic efforts, attempted to mediate. Ambassador Lyrana stood up, her voice calm but firm. "Why assume the worst?" she asked. "Humanity has shown remarkable restraint so far. They've used their newfound power responsibly, focusing on unity and progress rather than conquest. Perhaps instead of fearing them, we should reach out and establish dialogue." Varnock scoffed. "Dialogue? With primitives?" he sneered. "You saw how fast they adapted to alien technology. Imagine what they'll do once they master it completely. We can't trust them." Lyrana sighed, shaking her head. "Fear will only lead to conflict," she warned, "and conflict benefits no one. Let us try peace first." Her words fell on deaf ears. The council dissolved into heated arguments, each faction defending its own interests while ignoring the bigger picture. In the end, no consensus was reached, leaving the galaxy fractured and uncertain about how to handle Earth's meteoric rise. Back on Earth, Dr. Elena Carter remained focused on her mission, understanding the Star Destroyers and ensuring humanity's progress benefited all. She led teams of scientists, engineers, and diplomats working tirelessly to decode the messages embedded within the artifacts. Each discovery brought new challenges but also opportunities. Anti-gravity engines powered public transportation, making travel faster and more efficient. Advanced AI systems streamlined industries, eliminating mundane tasks and freeing humans to pursue creative endeavors. Education became universal, with virtual classrooms accessible to anyone, anywhere. Despite the rapid advancements, Dr. Carter never lost sight of the ethical implications. She insisted on transparency, sharing every breakthrough with the global community, and encouraging open discussions about their impact. Technology is a tool, she reminded her team during a meeting. It can build bridges or destroy them, depending on how we use it. Our responsibility is to ensure it serves humanity, not controls it. Her philosophy resonated deeply, inspiring countless others to push boundaries and explore the unknown. Young inventors emerged, driven by a desire to improve lives rather than accumulate wealth. Artists created works celebrating unity and resilience, while musicians composed symphonies that blended traditional melodies with futuristic sounds. Even skeptics began to see the value in collaboration, realizing that progress wasn't just about innovation, it was about connection. Still, not everything went smoothly. As humanity embraced its new role on the galactic stage, tensions arose between nations over resource allocation and technological distribution. Wealthier countries argued for prioritizing their own citizens, while poorer regions demanded equal access to the advancements. Protests erupted in major cities, with demonstrators chanting slogans like "Progress for All" and "No More Divides." Governments scrambled to address these concerns, implementing policies aimed at reducing inequality and fostering global cooperation. Dr. Carter played a crucial role in bridging these divides. She traveled extensively, meeting with world leaders and grassroots activists alike. Her speeches emphasized the importance of inclusivity and shared responsibility. "We stand at a crossroads," she declared during a televised address. "One path leads to prosperity for all, the other to division and strife. The choice is ours to make." Her words struck a chord, rallying millions to support initiatives promoting equality and sustainability. Resources were redistributed, ensuring even remote villages gained access to clean water, renewable energy, and modern healthcare. Education programs expanded, empowering marginalized communities to participate in shaping the future. Slowly but surely, humanity began to heal old wounds, replacing distrust with understanding. Alien observers noted these changes with a mix of admiration and apprehension. Some species, inspired by Earth's example, initiated reforms within their own societies. Others doubled down on isolationist policies, fearing contamination from humanity's ideals. A few extremists launched covert operations aimed at destabilizing Earth's progress. Spies infiltrated research facilities attempting to steal classified information. Assassins targeted key figures like Dr. Carter, hoping to cripple humanity's leadership. Yet every attempt failed, thwarted by humanity's heightened security measures and unwavering determination. One evening, as Dr. Carter gazed up at the Star Destroyers from her balcony, she reflected on how far they had come. Beside her stood Maya, her young protege, whose curiosity knew no bounds. "Do you think we'll ever meet the ones who gave us this gift?" Maya asked, her voice filled with wonder. Dr. Carter smiled softly, placing a hand on the girl's shoulder. "Maybe someday," she replied. "But until then, we'll keep exploring, keep learning, and keep proving that even the smallest spark can ignite the brightest flame." And so, humanity marched forward, carrying the torch of innovation into the vast unknown. The aliens' initial terror faded into admiration, though a lingering respect for Earth's tenacity remained. After all, everyone laughed and doubted, except for humans. As humanity continued its unprecedented ascent, the galaxy watched with a mixture of awe and apprehension. Earth's people had transformed their planet into a beacon of progress, unity, and innovation. Cities floated above oceans, powered by clean energy harvested from the stars. Deserts bloomed with greenery thanks to advanced irrigation systems, and diseases that once plagued millions were eradicated through cutting-edge medical technology. Humanity wasn't just surviving, it was thriving. But this rapid evolution didn't go unnoticed by alien civilizations, many of whom feared what might happen if Earth turned its gaze outward. The Star Destroyers remained in orbit, silent but ever-present, as if waiting for humanity to take the next step. Dr. Elena Carter often found herself staring at them, wondering about their creators. Who were they? Why had they chosen Earth? And what did they expect in return? These Questions haunted her, but she refused to let uncertainty slow her down. "We can't wait for answers," she told her team during one of their daily briefings. "We have to keep moving forward, building bridges, not just with each other, but with the rest of the universe." Her words inspired action. Diplomatic. Envoys traveled to nearby star systems, offering alliances and sharing knowledge. They carried gifts, samples of Earth's art, music, and literature, hoping to convey humanity's creativity alongside its technological prowess. Some species welcomed them warmly, eager to learn from Earth's meteoric rise. The Quarren Alliance, in particular, embraced these overtures, hosting cultural festivals where humans showcase their achievements while learning about alien traditions. "This is how peace begins," Ambassador Lorana declared during one such event, "through understanding and mutual respect." But not everyone shared this vision. The Krill Empire, still reeling from Earth's sudden emergence as a galactic contender, viewed these diplomatic efforts as a threat. Emperor Xyler seethed with frustration, watching as humanity extended olive branches to his rivals. "They're undermining our authority," he growled during a private council meeting. "If we don't act soon, they'll turn the entire galaxy against us." General Tarkon nodded grimly. His covert operations had failed miserably, exposing the Empire's weaknesses rather than halting Earth's progress. "We need a new strategy," he admitted. "Something bold enough to remind everyone who holds the real power." Xylar leaned back in his throne, his sharp eyes gleaming with malice. "Then it's time we reminded them," he said coldly. "Prepare the fleet. We'll strike first, before they realize what hit them." Meanwhile, the Zorlaxians wrestled with their own fears. Ambassador Varnock, whose earlier mockery of humanity had given way to paranoia, lobbied tirelessly for a preemptive alliance against Earth. "They're dangerous," he argued during a heated session of the Galactic Council. "Look at how quickly they've adapted. Imagine what they'll do when they master interstellar travel. Will they invade our worlds? Enslave our people?" Other council members exchanged uneasy glances. Some agreed with Varnock, advocating for a united front to neutralize the human threat. Others, however, saw an opportunity for coexistence. "Why assume the worst?" asked Ambassador Scylla of the Lumina Collective, her voice calm but firm. "Humanity has shown remarkable restraint so far. They've used their newfound power responsibly, focusing on unity and progress rather than conquest. Perhaps instead of fearing them, we should reach out and establish dialogue." Varnock scoffed. "Dialogue? With primitives?" He sneered. "You saw how fast they adapted to alien technology. Imagine what they'll do once they master it completely." "We can't trust them," Scylla sighed, shaking her head. "Fear will only lead to conflict," she warned, "and conflict benefits no one. Let us try peace first." Her words fell on deaf ears. The council dissolved into heated arguments, each faction defending its own interests while ignoring the bigger picture. In the end, no consensus was reached, leaving the galaxy fractured and uncertain about how to handle Earth's meteoric rise. Back on Earth, Dr. Carter and her team prepared for humanity's next great leap, interstellar exploration. Using the technology gleaned from the artifacts, engineers constructed sleek spacecraft capable of traveling faster than light. Powered by quantum engines and shielded by energy barriers derived from the Star Destroyer's designs, these vessels represented the pinnacle of human ingenuity. "This is it," Dr. Carter announced during a press conference. "The moment we step beyond our solar system and join the galactic community. But we won't do it as conquerors or invaders. We'll do it as explorers, seeking knowledge and friendship." Her announcement sparked excitement across the globe. Volunteers poured in, eager to serve aboard the first mission, a journey to Proxima Centauri, the closest star system to Earth. Among them was Maya, now a young scientist in her own right, whose curiosity and determination had earned her a spot on the crew. As she stood beside Dr. Carter preparing to board the ship, she felt a mix of nerves and exhilaration. "Are you ready?" Dr. Carter asked, smiling warmly. Maya nodded, her eyes shining with resolve. "More than ever," she replied. "Let's show the universe what we're made of." As the spacecraft launched, Millions gathered to watch the way historic event. Fireworks lit up the night sky and cheers echoed across continents. For the first time in history, humanity ventured beyond its cradle, carrying hope and goodwill to distant stars. Alien reactions varied widely. Some species applauded Earth's courage, viewing the mission as a step toward greater cooperation. Others braced for impact, convinced that humanity's arrival would disrupt the delicate balance of power in the galaxy. The Krill Empire, however, saw it as an act of defiance, one they couldn't ignore. Emperor Xylar watched the broadcast with growing fury. "So they think they're ready to challenge us?" he muttered darkly. Turning to General Tarkhan, he issued a chilling order. "Deploy the fleet. Intercept their ship before it reaches Proxima Centauri. Make sure they understand who rules this galaxy." Tensions escalated as the Krill warships set course for the edge of Earth's solar system. Meanwhile, humanity's spacecraft hurtled through space, unaware of the storm brewing ahead. Dr. Carter monitored communications closely, hoping to avoid conflict. "We're explorers, not warriors," she reminded her crew. "Our goal is peace, not domination." But peace wouldn't come easily. As the two fleets closed in on each other, the galaxy held its breath, unsure whether humanity's boldness would lead to triumph or tragedy. Far away, the Star Destroyers observed silently, their intentions still shrouded in mystery. Had they anticipated this moment? Were they testing humanity's ability to navigate the complexities of interstellar politics? Or was something else at play, something far greater than anyone could imagine? One thing was certain. Humanity had proven itself resilient, resourceful, and relentless. The aliens' initial terror had faded into admiration, though a lingering respect for Earth's tenacity remained. After all, everyone laughed and doubted, except for humans. The moment of confrontation arrived sooner than anyone expected. Humanity's first interstellar spacecraft, the Aurora, glided gracefully through the void of space, its sleek design reflecting the light of distant stars. On board, Dr. Elena. Carter and her crew prepared for what they hoped would be a peaceful encounter with alien life forms in the Proxima Centauri system. They carried messages of goodwill, artifacts showcasing Earth's culture, and a determination to prove that humanity was ready to join the galactic community as equals, not conquerors. But as the Aurora approached the edge of Earth's solar system, alarms blared across the ship's control panel. A massive fleet of Krill warships emerged from hyperspace, blocking their path. The Krill Empire had made its move. General Tarkin's voice crackled over the comms, cold and commanding. "Turn back, humans. You are not welcome here." Dr. Carter stepped forward, her calm demeanor masking the tension coursing through her veins. She activated the ship's communication system and spoke directly to the Krill commander. "We come in peace," she said firmly. "Our mission is one of exploration and understanding, not aggression. Let us pass." Tarkhan sneered, his sharp features visible on the holographic display. "Peace?" he spat. "You think your primitive species deserves a place among the stars? You're nothing but children playing with toys you don't understand." Maya, standing beside Dr. Carter, clenched her fists, but remained silent. She knew this wasn't the time for anger. It was the time for strategy. The young scientist whispered urgently to Dr. Carter. "We can't fight them head-on. Their numbers are too great. But maybe we can outsmart them." Dr. Carter nodded, her mind racing. She turned back to the comms and addressed Tarkhan once more. "If you believe we're unworthy, then test us," she challenged. "Let us prove ourselves not through violence but through intelligence and ingenuity." For a moment there was silence. Then Tarkhan laughed, a harsh, grating sound that echoed through the ship. "Very well," he replied. "We'll give you one chance. Solve this puzzle within 10 minutes or face annihilation." With that, a complex mathematical sequence appeared on the Aurora's screens, pulsating ominously. Back on Earth, news of the standoff spread like wildfire. Billions of people gathered around screens, holding their breath as they watched the live feed from the Aurora. Scientists worldwide joined forces remotely, working alongside the crew to decipher the sequence. It was unlike anything they'd seen before, layers upon layers of encrypted data, each requiring a different approach to unlock. Maya took charge, dividing the crew into teams based on their expertise. Group 1, focus on quantum patterns, she instructed. Group 2, analyze spatial geometry. Group 3, look for linguistic correlations. We have 9 minutes left. As the clock ticked down, the pressure mounted. Sweat dripped from foreheads and hands trembled over keyboards. But despite the stress, teamwork prevailed. Each team contributed pieces of the solution, slowly unraveling the intricate puzzle. At the last possible second, Maya inputted the final code and the screen flashed green. "Puzzle solved," she announced triumphantly. On the other end, Tarkon scowled, clearly displeased. "Impressive," he admitted begrudgingly. "But solving riddles doesn't make you worthy of the stars. Prepare yourselves, this isn't over." Before he could issue further commands, something extraordinary happened. The star destroyers, which had been silently orbiting Earth, suddenly moved. They surged forward, positioning themselves between the Krill fleet and the Aurora. Energy beams shot out, creating an impenetrable barrier that forced the Krill ships to retreat. The galaxy collectively gasped. No one, not even humanity, had anticipated such intervention from the mysterious star destroyers. Emperor Xylar, watching the events unfold from his throne room, slammed his fist against the armrest. "What is this treachery?" he roared. "Who dares interfere with the Krill Empire?" Farther away, Ambassador Varnock of the Zorlaxians stared at the holographic projections in disbelief. "Could it be?" he muttered under his breath. For the first time, doubt crept into his mind. Perhaps humanity truly was destined for greatness. With the immediate threat neutralized, the Aurora resumed its journey toward Proxima Centauri. Along the way, Dr. Carter reflected on the Star Destroyer's actions. "They protected us," she said softly, gazing out at the vast expanse of space. "But why? What do they want from us?" Maya shrugged, her youthful optimism shining through. "Maybe they're giving us a chance to grow, to show the universe that we're capable of handling power responsibly." When the Aurora finally reached Proxima Centauri, they were greeted by representatives of the Lumina Collective, a peaceful alliance of species eager to welcome humanity into the galactic fold. Ambassador Scylla herself led the delegation, her luminous form glowing warmly as she extended a hand in greeting. "You've proven yourselves resilient and resourceful," she said. "Welcome to the stars." Humanity's arrival marked a turning point in galactic history. News of their peaceful resolve and technological prowess spread quickly, inspiring other species to reconsider their prejudices. Trade agreements were forged, scientific collaborations initiated, and cultural exchanges celebrated. Even former adversaries like the Zorlaxians began reaching out, seeking common ground. But the Krill Empire remained a thorn in humanity's side. Though forced to retreat temporarily, they plotted revenge, determined to reclaim their dominance. Skirmishes erupted along interstellar borders, testing humanity's newfound alliances. Yet despite these challenges, humanity stood firm, guided by a philosophy born from struggle: progress should benefit all, not oppress. Years later, humanity stood tall among the stars, no longer ridiculed but respected, and sometimes feared. The aliens who had once mocked Earth now looked upon it with admiration, marveling at how quickly humans adapted to their role as galactic pioneers. The Star Destroyers remained in orbit, silent guardians watching over their creator's legacy. One evening, Dr. Carter gazed up at the night sky from her balcony, reflecting on the journey that had brought humanity here. Beside her stood Maya, now a seasoned scientist and leader in her own right. "Do you think we'll ever meet the ones who gave us this gift?" Maya asked, her voice filled with wonder. Carter smiled softly, placing a hand on the younger woman's shoulder. "Maybe someday," she replied. "But until then, we'll keep exploring, keep learning, and keep proving that even the smallest spark can ignite the brightest flame." And so, humanity marched forward, carrying the torch of innovation into the vast unknown. The aliens' initial terror faded into admiration, though a lingering respect for Earth's tenacity remained. After all, everyone laughed and doubted, except for humans.